Well, okay, so I made my request, and I guess a week or so later, it happened. There it was. They all assembled under the 125th Street, New York Central Railroad Station. Next thing you knew, I was standing there watching them all move in to that street. The only thing is I couldn't control it because you had musicians who hadn't seen each other in one solid congregation probably ever before, and to try to control this group was near impossible. You know, they were talking and they were laughing and they were paying attention to anything and anyone but this idiot kid across the street who has the audacity to set this whole thing up.
It was like old home week. The photographer was trying to get us in the picture that was similar to this up on the steps. He wanted to get us in this kind of a picture. And he would say, "Gentlemen, will you all please get up here?" And these guys that hadn't seen one another for ages, they were all shaking hands. "Hey, baby, how you doing? How you been?" You know.
Well, it was a really incredible environment to wander into. I had to walk down 126th Street and all your pals and buddies, and
they were just people that you knew and hadn't seen or wanted to see. And I had my camera, like I always do.
Oh, well, to the picture, yes. Milt brought his camera to the picture, and he wanted to get in the picture, so he asked me to take a few for him, which I did. In fact, some of his best shots might have been when I took them. I mean, I'm patting myself on the back, but that's about probably the way it happened.
And I just began to say, well, let me just capture some of this the way I see it, the way these guys are.
Very good photographer, Milton is. So we interchanged. He would take some and I would take some. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Mona was there. I think she took a few.
Well, I had this little Keystone 8mm movie camera, and Mona was not too much interested in photography. I said, "Honey, just aim it and press the button."
I mean, I wasn't that knowledgeable about what I should have been taking, but it was evident that many of them had not seen each other recently, so it was kind of nice.
I never felt so alone in my life that this, on the other side of the street, watching all of this, looking at my heroes and heroines with awe, and realizing, okay, Kane, you know, this is it. You did it. Now it's your responsibility. You're going to make it happen. I grabbed a copy of the New York Times and twisted it into a megaphone shape and put it up to my mouth and yelled and begged, "Please, please, can you please try to form some kind of a formation? Can you move on into the steps of that brownstone?" And little by little, I mean, that was all I could do. It's like asking a baby to talk. I had one incredible assistant with me. It was a guy named Steve Frankfurt.
I was always starstruck, and Art to me was a star. He may have been a beginning photographer, but I didn't know from that. I was his kid. And when he called me and asked me if I'd become his assistant, I thought, wow, this was it. You know, I was working for Cecil B. DeMille. He had everything but the boots. I rushed out of the agency that morning. It was an early shoot. He asked me if I'd come up and load film for his cameras.
And he was about as inept as I was. I mean, neither one of us really knew what we were doing.
And I kept thinking, well, you're going to get 10 or 12 people. That's all you're going to get, and it's not going to work. And suddenly, people began to come, and they kept on coming, and it was astounding.
On the appointed day, I learned that Gigi Grice wanted to accompany us. And so Gigi came to the office, and then we proceeded to go up on the west side and stop at Monk's home to pick him up.
It was very early. I think most of these guys had never seen early morning. I mean, they were, somebody, I forget who it was, said they didn't realize that there were 2 10 o'clocks in the same day. And they were absolutely, you know, they were kind of waking up, and it was and all focused or trying to focus on that kid across the street with the camera.
Like water seeks his own level. All the piano players began to get over here and shake hands. All the drummers were over here. And the trumpet players, Roy Eldridge and Rex Stewart, all of these guys over in the corner, and Dizzy Gillespie, all laughing and talking. It was just sheer happiness.
I was not on a big, generous expense account. The meter kept running, of course. Could never turn the meter off. And we kept waiting and waiting. And finally, after about an hour and 10 minutes, I was concerned we were going to miss the photograph. Thelonious Monk came out wearing a lovely sport jacket. Made no explanation as to why he was late. And in fact, on the entire trip up to Harlem, the only person that he talked to was G.G. Grice.
Monk didn't talk much, you know, like musicians run their mouths about that. But most of the time when you say something to Monk, Nellie would answer. That's what I say, Monk. So Nellie said, well, I said, Nellie, Monk speaks English. Yeah, in a weird way, but he speaks English, man. Say that.
He was the type person where you have musicians who were always gossiping anyway, running their mouths. And Monk would walk around the room while everybody's blah blah and may not say a word for maybe 20 minutes. He'd just walk around stroking his little beard, you know. And then all of a sudden he may say 3 or 4 words and destroy everything we had been talking about for the last half an hour. He's completely washed it out, just like that. Timing.
Later, I managed to pull G.G. Grice aside, and I found out why we had to wait so long. Apparently, knowing that so many people were going to be in a photograph, Monk wanted to ensure that he would be seen. And he had to think about what he was going to wear. And apparently he was trying on a lot of different combinations. He came to the conclusion that most people, since they saw this as a special occasion, would probably wear a dark suit. So he elected to wear a light colored jacket. And if you look at the photograph, he also, in his own knowing way, decided to stand next to 2 lovely ladies, Marion McParland and Mary Lou Williams.
Mary Lou was very fond of Monk.
Yeah.
Mary Lou.
Monk was fond of her, too.
Yeah.
She taught him. She taught me.
She taught you lessons?
Different things. No lessons. You know,
Yeah.
you play with them and they teach.
Yeah.
They tell you what's going on.
Yeah.